Hey thrift crafters. So, just like I promised, I am back with a very fun rock video. And not like rock, like awesome, but no, even better, I'm back with some rocks. We're going to be talking about my top 10 rocks for new witches. These rocks are easy to find in stores, they are affordable, they're not super expensive, and they have, within the 10, they have about every single use that you might need during your first few years of practicing witchcraft. I'm going to talk a little bit about their elemental alignment. I'm going to talk about whether they are a projective stone or a receptive stone. And then I'm going to talk about, in my opinion, some of the best uses for them. This does not mean that you can't use them for anything that you find enjoyable. This does not mean that you can't, make your own correspondences for them, or that you can't look up other resources to try and find correspondences for them at all. This is just what I think are the best rocks for beginners from an experience standpoint. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a very large rock collection. So instead of taking 4 hours going through my giant head-sized vase of rocks, I picked out 10. And the 10 rocks that I picked out were pretty easy to come by. I also picked out some of the ones that are more popular for a lot of people, the ones that are talked about a lot, just because there's going to be more information on them for you, so you can research them a little bit better. Most of the correspondence information came from, again, another really easy to get book, The Cunningham's Crystal Gem and Metal Magic. Now, this does not have all the rocks in it that I'm going to feature today, so I did have to do a little bit more digging to find exactly the information that I wanted to share with you, but this is a really good resource for beginners. It's a little bit older because obviously Cunningham is no longer with us. However, there is a book called The Book of Stones, which Allaire has, that I will link down in the description because I think it's a really, really good reference guide. And I don't have a copy. I probably need to buy a copy. But there's tons of books on the markets, guys. The other thing that I want everybody to not necessarily get, but if you can get your hands on it, my favorite books about rocks are these, if I can pick this one up. These are field guides. They are Simon & Schuster's Rocks and Minerals. This one's obviously much older, but these are field guides for actual, scientific information on these stones. So, for example, I'm just going to open up to see if I get lucky and open up to something that we know. I'm using some, here we go, gypsum. Gypsum is the scientific word for selenite, which I'm going to feature today. As you can see, it has photos, desert rose, selenite, and standard gypsum, and then the description. It also talks about the formation of it and the different structures and stuff, so those can really help you when you're either finding that out in nature or if you're trying to create your own correspondences, your own symbolism for that instrument. They have the same type of guides for animals and for insects and for plants too. So anything within the physical science world you can get access to for your witchcraft from a scientific perspective. So I think that's really important. So let's go ahead and dive in. We may as well start with selenite. So selenite is my favorite stone. I have a lot of it because selenite, I'm going to move this over here so I can see it. Selenite is a receptive stone, which means it's an absorber. It's going to take whatever you give it. So in this case, we're working with selenite. I have orange selenite here, which is just a really pretty color. It's kind of like a apricot color, which is not something I normally use as a descriptor, but then I have like a small wand and then a larger wand. This was my first piece of selenite that I got. And you can't find selenite for what I paid for this anymore because it got so popular. But I think I paid like a whole $1 for this large piece, whereas this also cost me $1 at some point. Or maybe this was from Beccathist. I can't remember. Anyway, I did get a piece of selenite from Beccathist, but I can't remember which one it was. So selenite is a receptive stone, and it's water aligned, which means it deals in the land of emotions and it deals in the land of healing. The best uses I wrote down for selenite are going to be forgiveness. So let's say that someone has done you wrong, or you know, had a bad habit that you're feeling guilty over. It helps you feel better about that thing. It helps you come to terms with what it was that you were doing. Cleansing is the big one that I use selenite for, guys. They say that if you keep selenite in your rock collection, it will automatically cleanse all energies from those stones. So there's another one I'm going to talk about in a little while that does the opposite, and it kind of purifies other things, but the two are not the same. So cleansing gets rid of negativity, whereas purification gets rid of everything and makes it kind of is like factory reset. So this is the stone that does all the cleansing. This does not do the purifying. So this one is really good to keep with you. It's also really good to keep on your altar because you can help cleanse any unwanted stuff in between different rituals. So selenite is one of my big favorites. It is water soluble, so you cannot put it in your moon water to charge it. I usually, if I'm going to charge my selenite, I just put it under moonlight. I did experiment with a small piece of selenite at one time and put it into a jar of water, and it didn't fully dissolve, but it did dissolve quite a bit. And so that water then completely became unusable and undrinkable because it was just going to be dangerous if I had ingested it. So it's not a good stone for making crystal elixirs or anything like that. Let's see. I think I'll just go right down my list. It's not in any alphabetical order, so it's just kind of the way I wrote them down. The next one we're going to talk about is kyanite, which I have blue kyanite. It's my favorite, but look at this baby. This was my purchase, my big purchase that I got in Arizona. If you follow us on Instagram, you will know that. But I absolutely love this piece, and I'm not going to handle it too much, guys, just because this is a display piece and it is rather old. And one of the pieces of kyanite is starting to come off the quartz, just because that's what happens when you mine a mineral. But this is a beautiful specimen. You see down here is like the price tag, which I'll just go ahead and pop that off there. Oh, maybe not. All right, well, they've got sticky tack, so that's fine. But yeah, so you see here, it's kyanite all the way through, but it's in a quartz matrix. Those are more scientific words, guys. So kyanite is projective, whereas the selenite was receptive. The kyanite is projective. Kyanite sends things away from it. It sends things out. Kyanite also is one of the only stones I came across when I was researching for you guys that does not have an elemental alignment, which to me was very strange because normally in the metaphysical realm of things, there's always some type of elemental alignment. But the more I looked and the more I researched, the more I found that having no elemental alignment for kyanite as a whole is actually a very good thing, because each different type of kyanite works with a different energy center, or you might know them as chakras. I prefer the term energy center, within your being. So green kyanite works with, one chakra, and blue kyanite works with another, and so on and so forth. So kyanite having no elemental alignment actually is a pretty good thing for it. Now, it's an activator, so they say that blue kyanite, the type I have, is actually great for activating all of your chakras, all of your energy centers, getting them all up and running. So for me, I use it a lot in my healing practice because I do energy cleansing and Reiki and energy center balancing and things like that. So it's a really good stone, and I use it with my clients fairly often. Some of its other things that it works with is communication. It's a big one for communication because it can help you talk to your spirit guides. It can help you get into a meditative state. It can help you work with your deities and things like that. So it's a really good piece to have on any type of ancestor shrine or altar to a deity and things like that. Next one we're going to talk about is pyrite. And I have two different forms of pyrite. One is pure pyrite. It's a very large chunk. I mean, it's pretty hefty. It's metal, so it's heavy. It's iron ore. And then I also have this little guy. You'll notice that this is a quartz crystal, but it has a pyrite piece attached to it. Now we're going to talk about quartz in a little while, but I wanted to show that it's okay to have a stone that's not pure, that's not, solidly one thing or another. Just like you saw with the kyanite, where it was attached to clear quartz. You can still use those things magically in your practice, and when we talk about quartz, I will tell you why. Pyrite is a receptive stone, just like selenite, where it receives. It's a receiver. So it is earth aligned as well as fire aligned. And the fire alignment comes from its metal associations, whereas the earth alignment comes from its quartz association. It's also an ore, and so ore is a big part of our planet. It's located in the core of the earth, and so it's a very important part of the world as a whole. The best uses for pyrite are prosperity, so money, coming into any type of abundance in that type of way and some material way. It's also a very good shielding stone. So if you are empathic, meaning you are able to feel the emotions others are giving out, pyrite is going to be a very good thing for you to have. They don't usually make jewelry out of it. However, you can get a piece wrapped in wire or, macrame yarn or anything like that. Keep it in a pouch in your pocket, keep a piece in your purse. Keep it with you because it's a very good shielding stone. If you attach that intent, you attach that energy to it, it's going to come out for you very well. The other thing that pyrite is good for is controlling harsh emotions. Now, what I mean by that is not that you're going to hold on to a piece of pyrite and it's going to, stop you from ever being angry or ever being sad. No. What that means is that the pyrite is able to calm you and keep you from maybe overreacting instead of, you're not going to blow up as easily as you would before. Stone magic is a very subtle form of magic. It's very gentle. It's very deep. It's not something that works in a flash. It's something that works very slowly over time. The more you hold on to that stone, the better it's going to be. The better your connection to that stone, the better you're taking care of the stone, you're cleansing its energies often and things like that. That's going to work well for you. If you just put a stone in your pocket for one day and say, well, that didn't work, of course not. Of course not. Magic takes time. So the next one we're going to talk about is agate. Now I have here, I think it's a Botswana agate sphere. It has been carved into a sphere shape, and then it has this beautiful eye in the center. I don't know if you can see all that detailing because of my lighting, but it's just really pretty. Oh, and I forgot to mention, guys, one of the best tools you can have if you're a rock hound is a flashlight. I love to use my flashlight because it can illuminate parts, so you can't see it too well on camera. But when you're looking at it in person, you see how that glows? You can just look and it shows you all the detail that you need to see of a piece. And the lacing in this piece of agate is just beautiful. I wish you guys could be here in person to see this because it's beautiful. Agate comes in many forms. It comes in many colors. And so it is both receptive and projective depending on the type. The same with its elemental alignment is depending on the type of agate, like this we have here, this is agatized carnelian, which is also a geode because you can see inside we've got a little bit of a hole there, which I apologize for my lighting, but this is a piece of agate, but it's also a piece of carnelian. You see how it glows orange? That is just because I'm holding the flashlight up to it. That can show me the inner structure. That can also help you define the difference between a piece of jet, a piece of onyx, a piece of obsidian, from a really, really high quality dark amethyst. Because you hold it up and it glows purple. Oh, there it is, my amethyst. So there's also blue lace agate, which is one of Alair's favorites. This is just beautiful. Look at that blue glow. I wish you guys could. Let's see if I can get it. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that just, it's so amazing. I love my blue lace agate. It's the only piece I have. I want to get a larger specimen, maybe like a palm-sized stone, because it just feels good to hold on to. And then you also have things like agate slabs that you can get from places. I've had this piece a long time, you guys. I used to have all 4 pieces of agate like this I had in all 4 elemental colors when I first started my practice, but I'm down to just the one because I used the other pieces in wire wraps and craft projects and things like that, but I kept this one because it has these little islands in it, and I just think it's a really pretty piece of agate. And I've got like some teardrop agate that glows little white, and it's got some tiny inclusions, and an inclusion is an imperfection. It means that something else is in the stone, it's included in the stone. And then there's moss agate and things like that, but the best uses I could find for agate as a whole subset, without regards to what type of agate it was or anything like that, was protection, healing, love, and courage. So those 4 things are pretty useful within a witchcraft, mindset. Courage to do things that we need to have courage to do. Love, that's a very popular bit of spell work that most beginners take on, whether it's self-love or love for another person. Healing, that's a big one. You're going to get hurt, you're going to get sick, you're going to have emotional trauma, things like that. Healing is a very good thing to try and work through, and protection, because doing magic can be dangerous. Talking to other humans can be dangerous. So having something there for protection that's very easy to find, you can find it pretty easy out in nature too, is a very good thing to kind of have. The next one on my list is tourmaline, and I included tourmaline because I wanted to make sure I had something that was specifically for protection, and I also wanted to have something that was good at absorbing negativity. So if you remember, I said that the selenite is good for cleansing all your stones and getting rid of all the crap that's in them. This one is also good to keep with your stones because it absorbs all the negativity. So all the negativity that the selenite absorbs has to go somewhere. All the negativity that's cleansed by the selenite has to go somewhere. Otherwise, it's just going to go in this vicious cycle, and it's just going to keep going around and around and around. By having the black tourmaline, now, notice I said black tourmaline. There are dozens of types of tourmaline. They are very expensive. Black tourmaline is a little bit more affordable. This is probably the most expensive thing I'm going to show to you today is the tourmaline, because it's a bit of a rarer stone. It's not as easily found. Black tourmaline is receptive. It is earth aligned. And its best uses are for grounding, protection, and absorbing negativity. This stone is great to hold on to before meditation. I almost said before being a magician. I don't know why that thought popped into my head. It's good for protecting yourself. If you ever are afraid something is going to, come at you, keep this in your car, keep it in your pocket, keep it in your purse, put it on your windowsill by your bed at night, something like that. This stone is a very protective stone. It does need to be cleansed fairly often because it does absorb negativity. So I keep it with your selenite so that the two can work in tandem rather than somewhere separate. I like to keep all my rocks obviously all together in a jar, which means that every time I go to use them, I do have to recharge my stones. But that's on me for not having a proper display area. So yeah, there's that. There is another way you can get black tourmaline. And so this I have here. Let's see if you can see it. This is my, I forget what it's called, energy generator. In the middle here I have rose quartz, a big rose quartz pyramid, and then the points have been polished, but they are tourmaline. This one's pretty cheaply made. I just got it because I thought it was a good deal online on Etsy, which it is. It's, it's fairly well made. It's just not, I can tell that it's pretty affordable, if you know what I mean. But it really does help me project the love that I, use it for. And for me, it helps protect the love in my home, and so it keeps my boyfriend and I from arguing too much. So this I always keep in my magic room. But that's another way that you can use stones, guys, is they don't have to be raw little pieces. They can be extra things that you have made or display around your house. Up next is one of my favorite stones. It's fluorite. It's probably everyone's favorite stone in terms of aesthetic because it is a really beautiful stone. I have 3 different types of fluorite I'm going to show you guys today. I have a bit of a blue-green fluorite, a rainbow fluorite, and then a purple fluorite. Now, when the purple fluorite I'll show you was actually a gift from my mother when I was in Arizona, because it looks like amethyst, but because I'm educated on rocks, I knew that the crystalline structure of this piece was not amethyst. I knew it was fluorite right away, and my mom's like, oh, well, I like amethyst, so you can have it. So this piece normally would have probably cost me about $30, give or take, but my mom was very gracious in gifting it to me, and eventually her rock collection does go to me if, God forbid, the day ever comes that she passes away. But I'm just going to try and light this up a little bit so you guys can see. Let's see if we can get it. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? It's so beautiful. The crystalline structure is absolutely magnificent on this piece. And I mean, just look at the color. Like, this piece right here is so dense, you can't even like see through it. And it's just beautiful, and I absolutely adore this piece. So fluorite is an air-aligned stone, and it is projective. When Scott Cunningham wrote his metal, gem and metal magic book, fluorite is actually in it, but it's not, he doesn't know anything about it, which I found very interesting, because that tells me that this is a newer stone that people are using within their magical practice. So my copy is from 2005, but I think it was originally published in 1988. So this was published the year before I was even born, which tells me that fluorite is only about 26 or so, maybe 28 years old in terms of being used metaphysically. It's obviously a much older stone, but it hasn't been used metaphysically until the New Age. And so I forgot where I was going with that. But, because of that, UPG, unverified personal gnosis, is going to be really important when you work with fluorite, simply because it'll help you, It'll help you understand your rocks a little bit better if you put your own meaning and own symbolism into them. So I'm going to show you my green. This piece was chosen for me by my little brother. It's pretty clear, so the light actually doesn't help you out too much, but let's see. There we go. There's a good glow. It's a blue-green piece of fluorite. It has quartz at the bottom. My little brother picked this piece out for me, and I've cherished it ever since, because to me that was a big deal that my little brother supported my journey, because when I got this piece, I had just come out as a witch. I had just told my family, and I didn't have a whole lot of people who weren't okay with it, but my little brother, it meant a lot to me that he was so supportive with that. The other piece I have is the rainbow fluorite, which is the combination of the blue, green, purple, and clear all together. There you go. Isn't that pretty? I think that's just beautiful. This piece is really good. I have a bunch of fluorite because, again, it is one of my absolute favorite stones. Its best uses for fluorite, because it is a projective stone, so again, it sends out, is intelligence, emotional thought, and with that being said, carrying fluorite around is not going to make you a smarter person, but it may make you more eager to study. It may help you be more motivated to do research and things like that. So keeping fluorite with your book collection is probably going to be a good idea. The next stone I want to talk about, guys, and I'm sorry I'm moving on so quickly from fluorite, but the video is getting a little long, longer than I anticipated. So I'm going to try and get through, because I do have do I have 2 bonus stones? Yeah, I have 2 bonus stones that I want to be able to share with you guys. So the next one I'm going to talk about is this really simple green rock here, which you might have already guessed is labradorite. Let's see if I can catch a flash for you guys. There's a little bit of one in there. This one's really, it's hard to show you guys the flash on a camera screen. There's a good one. But yeah, you see that flash? The thing I love about labradorite is that its flashes, and this piece is not as flashy, but it's cut to be made into jewelry. But I like this piece. The thing about labradorite is the thing that makes it beautiful is its biggest imperfection. labradorescence is caused by tiny fractures within the crystalline structure. And so it's the only stone that I know of that's made into jewelry where its imperfections are the thing that make it beautiful. If you think about rubies, emeralds, and diamonds, the thing that makes them beautiful is their clarity, it's their perfection, it's their level of colorlessness or their level of shine when they're cut and things like that, that it doesn't have those pesky inclusions or those pesky striations. The thing about labradorescence and labradorite in particular is that the shine, the sparkle, that beauty comes from light refracting off of cracks and fractures within the structure. And that is such a beautiful metaphor to me of how people should be, that this is probably one of my favorite stones to give as gifts to people, because it kind of shows you that imperfections make you beautiful. Your uniqueness is the thing that makes you perfect. Labradorite is a projective stone, and it is water aligned. Its best uses are psychic development. I have like a whole list of stuff, guys. Psychic development, communication with gods, communication with spirit guides, meditation, bringing positivity into your life and also radiating positivity, and also reducing bad habits. I was reading a lot of research that says that labradorite, when held, can really help you overcome alcoholism, it can help you overcome addiction, and it can help you, kind of learn how to, do better at housework and things like that. So I think labradorite is a really good one to start collecting and keep, because we could all use a little bit of a reminder that our imperfections make us beautiful. So crystal quartz or clear quartz or just quartz, it's probably one of the most common things found on our planet. It is projective and receptive depending on the type of quartz. Quartz comes in a variety of different colors, which I'm going to show you right now. And I'm also going to show you some other things that are included in the quartz family that are not called quartz. They have other names. So here are a bunch of different types of quartz. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go. Different types of quartz. These are obviously all clear. This largest one here in my hand has a bit of rainbow inclusions within it, which I love, and I've had this piece a very long time. I've got a little piece here that has some tourmaline within it, or it's called rutilated or tourmalinated quartz. I have just a simple quartz point, which are pretty common within the Wicca world, and then a quartz crystal point, which is obviously a natural formed piece. So here's what quartz looks like when it's pulled out of the ground. It has a crystalline structure, it's jagged, it's rugged, it's all over the place. I mean, it's just, and it's beautiful. It's very beautiful to look at. It's very shiny. Herkimer diamonds are a type of quartz, and they can be used as replacements for diamonds in spells, because obviously most of us don't have a bag of loose diamonds sitting around. Diamonds are just carbon, and they are just a stone that has been made popularized by a very successful wedding company campaign back in the, I think, early 1900s or late 1800s, but it's very hard to find. But Herkimer diamonds, or double terminated quartz points, are very easy to come by. I have a piece of quartz here that is also an amethyst. You can't see it, and I apologize, but it's double terminated, which makes it kind of a Herkimer, but this end is an amethyst, but this end is quartz, and it's double terminated. This is a really special piece to me because it also has a little bit of smoke in it too. So this is kind of all three of some of my favorite things. So quartz is projective and receptive. Quartz is my favorite. If you are a brand new beginner, get yourself a piece of quartz. I don't care where it comes from. This is the only stone you ever actually need, because it does everything, literally everything. That's actually what I wrote on this paper, was everything, literally everything. Is fire and water aligned. So it has those opposite alignments. Fire is, earth and air, and then water is emotion and things like that. And I totally said that wrong, but it's fine. clear quartz is a great substitute for anything. Just like how you can use rosemary in the plant world for anything, you can use crystal quartz to replace anything in the stone world. There are variations of quartz. There is green quartz, there's yellow quartz, there's white quartz, there is milky quartz, there is purple quartz, there is yellow, everything. It's all over the place. The next two stones I'm going to show you are in the quartz family, but they're just different colors, and so they have been given different names. This one, rose quartz, this is the stone of love. This is Alar's favorite stone. He has a bunch of it because he works with Aphrodite primarily. So the goddess of love loves her some pink quartz. It's receptive and it's water aligned. It's aligned with your emotions. It helps open your heart energy centers. It's really good for happiness, and it's really good for keeping your relationships stable. It keeps fidelity within your established relationship. When I get married, I plan on having rose quartz somewhere on myself, probably in a necklace form, when we go through the ceremony, just as a little bit of extra oomph for that commitment that my boyfriend or girlfriend and I will be making for each other. So, let's see, yeah, so that's rose quartz. And remember I showed you too that it comes in different types. So it came here on my energy generator, but you can get it polished, you can get it rough. It doesn't usually come in crystalline structure like the crystal quartz does. If you ever see anything that's in this formation, it's probably not real rose quartz. There are always exceptions to everything. I've seen strawberry quartz, which I think is treated, but that's more of like a red, hot pink, magenta kind of color. But real rose quartz will usually come in just kind of large rock shapes. And I'm about to sneeze, so if I sneeze, I apologize. Oh, goodness, okay. So, the last stone on my list before we get to my bonus stones are going to be amethyst. Amethyst is a type of quartz. In fact, you can see the quartz in the amethyst right down there. This one I have the actual like rock matrix from the geode, but it's right down in there. And you can see it's beautiful. Because this has the matrix attached to it, the light doesn't really go through very well. It does kind of go through, but not by much. So I'll come over here to the side. But it's just a really pretty stone. This piece I've had for a long time. I got it either my little brother or my ex-boyfriend's mom. I don't know. I've had it for a long time. But it's very cute, and it's nice and small and hand size. Like I can fit it just like that. But amethyst is a type of quartz. There's a bunch of different types of amethyst. The way that they form is very unique. You've got, just chunks of purple rock. You've got the geode structures like that. And then you have like chevron quartz, which is just kind of lower quality banded with regular quartz amethyst. And it's really pretty. And I have like a few small pieces. I couldn't find the one I really wanted to show you guys, which was a really beautiful high quality piece of amethyst that is so deep dark purple it looks black in the stone itself until you shine a flashlight through it. So amethyst is a receptive stone. You'll notice a lot of the stones are receptive. There's not too many that I chose that were very projective, because I think one of the things you need to learn as a beginner witch is how to project your own energy instead of relying on a tool to do it for you. But I think I gave you a balance, so I don't know. It's water aligned because, again, emotions. This is another one that helps overcome addiction. And this one also helps overcome bad habits. It's good for healing, psychic ability, protection from theft. So I like to keep a few little pieces of amethyst in the bottom of my purse and in my wallet to prevent people from trying to steal it. And it's really good to put under your pillow to help you with your dreams. So those were my top 10. And then I picked out a couple of bonus stones. So the first one I wanted to show you guys was bloodstone. As a female, this has been like a godsend stone. I have a necklace that's made out of bloodstone. I think it's a type of jasper, which I did not talk about today, but I might in another video. Bloodstone has been used for a long time because it has a lot of this red, like kind of jasper sandstone embedded within it, along with its green, which both of the stones I have today kind of look the same. It's just their coloration is a little bit different. And then I have my little egg shape here. but that's my bloodstone. I couldn't tell you whether it was receptive or projective. I did not do that research on it. I just wanted to be able to show you guys some of the other stones. Bloodstone is one of those ones that is really good with helping with pain, especially for menstrual pain. It's also a really good stone for protection, in my opinion, and grounding. And those are just my associations I put with it, not necessarily anything I've ever seen in a book or anything like that. The next stone I'm going to talk about, and the last stone I'm going to talk about, is my favorite stone, and that is Unakite. This is the stone of helping with personal trauma. It helps heal past issues and things like that, and it's called the garden stone also because it just looks like flowers in a garden. It has kind of like a peachish red striping through a green background. And so those are my last little bonus stones for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was long, and I know that it was kind of long-winded and not as entertaining as I wanted it to be, but I hope you guys got a lot out of it. I'm always down for talking about stones, so feel free to contact us via our email or our YouTube messaging or just in the comments. We really love interacting with you guys, and we are going to do some more videos soon. We are hoping to do a live video for Imbolc coming up next month, and so we're going to be including you guys more in our personal paths, and then I have some really exciting things that are coming up. Today is Friday, January 11th, and tomorrow, January 12th, I'm actually being initiated into my coven. So tomorrow is like a really big day for me, so I'm very excited, and I'm very excited that I get to kind of share a little bit of that journey with you guys after. On Sunday, I'll probably contact Alair, and then we might try and do something together. But anyway, enjoy. If you guys have any rock questions, please let us know. I will try and put the resources that I use down in the description below so you can fact check me or you can look for yourselves. If anyone has any questions, let us know. If you guys have any suggestions for more videos, go ahead and shoot us a message. Like, we have Tumblr, we have Instagram, anything like that. You guys can always contact us. We love hearing from you guys. We love your suggestions that you've sent in so far, and we cannot wait to talk to you guys more, and we have a lot of really fun things planned. So we love you guys. Blessed be. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and enjoy your weekend because it's Friday. It's going to be so fun. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.